Do you want to find unique and interesting ways to mill out your opponents? Well, you're in luck. Today we're going to cover just that in a series I like to call Game-Winning Jank. So for you guys, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Welcome back, folks, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for dropping by and your ongoing support. My name is Patrick, host of the EDH Brutality YouTube page, which helps Magic gathering content and analysis on Wednesdays and Sundays. You're watching Game-Winning Jank, a series in which we discuss 3 janky ways to catapult your next match in Friday Night Magic. Now, before we jump right into today's list, I've got 3 disclaimers for you all. The first of which, as always, each synergy and combo is in no particular order in regards to speed or strength. The second is all timestamps. We can write it down in the description below if you'd like to skip around. And last but not least, as always, a quick and special thanks to patrons like you for making videos like this possible. A few weeks ago, we did relaunch the page, and if that's something that interests you, you can find links in the description as well as comments of this video. But with that said, let's just jump right in which today we are talking all about mill. Starting things off, we have a Fleet Swallower, which for 5 generic and 2 blue mana gets you a 6/6 creature fish with an ability reading. Whenever Fleet Swallower attacks, target player puts the top half of his or her library rounded up into his or her graveyard. Now, of course, this can be turned into a win con in several ways, with the most obvious being Bruvok, their Grand Delinquents. However, that's a little bit boring, especially for game-winning jank. We're going to set our sights on another permanent to get the job done, coming in with a Keening Stone, which is a 6 generic artifact spell stating, pay 5 generic and tap. Target player puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard, where X is the number of cards in that player's graveyard, which is just another cheeky way to get the job done, and although arguably worse, it's good to have redundancy. In fact, if you have the mana, I'd recommend putting this in any mill deck, as it turns any previous work we used to milling out opponents into critical mass. Coming up next, our second combo or synergy of the day is set up with a Painter Servant, a 2 generic artifact creature scarecrow reading. As Painter Servant comes into play, choose a color. All cards that aren't in play, spells, and permanents are the chosen color in addition to their other colors, which, although sounds complicated, is rather simple. Or in simple terms, every card you see in sight is now the color of the Painter Servant's choice. Doesn't matter if it's on the table, in your library, or in your hand. If it's a magic card, it is affected. And with that in play, we will pair it nicely with a Grindstone, which is a 1 generic artifact spell with an ability reading. Pay 3 generic and tap. Put the top 2 cards of target player's library into that player's graveyard. If both cards share at least 1 color, repeat this process. And thankfully, due to the Painter Servant, every card will share the same color, meaning you spend 3 mana, point this at 1 direct opponent, and they are going to mill their entire deck. Of course, if we throw in an unwinding clock for safe measure, we'll be able to do this at the beginning of each player's upkeep, with the unwinding clock untapping our Grindstone to repeat this process, so long as we have the mana for it, making this efficient, cold, and calculated. Sounds a lot like my
Hey yo, what the f?
Okay, we might not be going just there, but where we are going is our third and final combo within today's video, which has to do with a crab rave. Yeah, that's right, a crab rave. Starting off, we are going to play the enchantment known as Cryptolith Rites, which for 1 generic and 1 green mana gets you an ability reading. Creatures you control have, in quotations, tap to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, which is fantastic because this pairs with none other than a Horseshoe Crab, which is a 1/3 summon crab for 2 generic and 1 blue stating, pay 1 blue to untap Horseshoe Crab. And these 2 cards interact in a way that allows us to tap and untap the Horseshoe Crab an infinite number of times for absolutely no payoff. Well, at least on its own. And this isn't necessarily restricted to just the Cryptolith Rites, because if we're playing mono blue, it also works with a Paradise Mantle, which does the exact same thing, only cheaper. But hey, at least we got the crab rave. Okay. So let's finally add the payoff now that we can untap and tap this sucker, which happens to be a Mesmeric Orb, a 2 generic artifact spell reading. Whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that permanent's controller puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. And since we can untap and tap the crab an infinite number of times, we are able to self-mill down to 0 cards left in our deck, meaning we can now win with a Laboratory Maniac. So pretty jank combo, and open and honestly, it's pretty bad. Because this same thing can be done without the Horseshoe Crab. In fact, all you need is a Mesmeric Orb and a Basalt Monolith. But what's the fun in that? I mean, sure, I guess it all depends on what you value more. Efficiency or Crab Rave? I'm leaning towards the Rave. You can do whatever you want to do, because I'm gonna end the video there and have some real fun and get some games in. So yeah, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Did you like my choices? Of course, if you have a special combo or synergy you would like to see featured in the next episode, make sure to leave it down in the comments section below. I do really enjoy bringing this series to you all with the out-the-box thinking. And of course, once more, if you would like to see a full list of every single game-winning jank combo ever featured on the channel, it is available as a perk over on my Patreon page. So if you want to stay tuned for future videos on the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell down in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. So my name is Patrick, host of EDH Brutality. I thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys. Ooh, you know, I don't know why I give you guys these ideas. I hate playing against Mill. I know other people hate playing against Mill. Why do I talk about Mill? Why do I advertise it? Speaking of advertising, go watch these videos. I think you'll like them. I hope you'll like them. Maybe not. Click on them to find out and let me know. Thanks.